there was this Japanese foreign exchange student in Paris who was a photography student, I think. And
shit, I know what this is. Yeah.
Yeah, and he had killed someone in Japan, and then he had killed 2 people in Paris, and like froze and cooked and ate their bodies.
Yeah, he's a hungry boy, dude. Yeah.
And so French police eventually found him, and Japan was like, "Hey, he actually did crime here. Can you send him back? We'll have a court case for him here, and then he'll serve his sentence in France, and you can do the court case over there." And France was, like, sure, go ahead. And then he had a court case in Japan, and he was found not guilty.
What?
And since he was found not guilty, Japan had I don't know if it's still the case, but had a law at the time where they couldn't extradite anyone if they didn't commit a crime in Japan. So he actually never got back to France.
Wow.
And he's like in his 80s or 60s, 70s, somewhere in there now. And I watched a documentary about him. I can't remember what it was called, but he wrote a comic book, a Japanese manga about what it was like to kill and eat women. And so he wrote this. Yeah, and it's the drawings are like not that great, and they're kind of crude and bloody. And
wait, did he draw it too?
Yeah, he drew it too.
I mean, bad guy, but that's a little impressive,
Yeah. I wish I could do that.
Those people don't get in trouble.
Yeah, me too.
All.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so I want. It's not. I don't think it's been translated into English for obvious reasons. Mm-hmm. But I would read it if it was in English. And I told someone that, and they were like, and not because I want to like make him famous or because I think what he did was awesome or cool, but I just like he says even now he says he hires prostitutes on a regular basis to curb his appetite. It's even like in his 60s and 70s, he would hire prostitutes. He wouldn't kill them, and the prostitutes would know about who he was. He would tell them beforehand. But like, I would love to read that to see
just to slice into his mind, like out of curiosity.
Yeah, to see his perspective of like, is there some kind of like weird justification in his mind, or like
there pretty much always is.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I hate the argument that consuming true crime media or making movies about killers glorifies them. To me, it doesn't. And all you have to do is look at the audience of true crime podcasts, of true crime documentaries. Largely women. Right?
Yeah. Well, at least like My Favorite Murder, it's like their following is largely female. But there's like a... I don't know if I just think that because I'm biased because I first started listening to them because since then there's been like True Crime Garage, there's a bunch of other, but it's true like there's a bunch of different reasons why people are interested in it, like from psychology to whatever else, but sometimes I straight up just like watch true crime and stuff and just to think like, whoa, like I think my life is bad being stuck on the couch, but it could be like this. Yeah. Sometimes I watch it for that, sometimes, it depends.
The one that sticks with me is the killer. I'm sure that you both know. I've heard this story, but he was, I believe, in Canada. He was on a bus, and he just goes to someone who's wearing headphones, and he just starts stabbing him, and he cuts this guy's head off. And people try to stop him, but he hisses him like as his knife. So they get off the bus, and the police come. He holds the head up to the police, and he like had a piece of his heart in his little pocket here, and he just totally fucked this guy up for no reason. And one of the cops that came onto the scene and saw this murder ended up committing suicide from it, and it's just
wow.
That story sticks with me as...
What was he, like, possessed or something?
I mean, I don't know.
Did he, like, say he was possessed or, like, what was his... I'm going to research that. That's interesting.
I need to look this up. I remember this vaguely, but I remember, it was like a bus maybe that, like, broke down or if he held it hostage or something like that, and then he freaked out inside the bus.
Yeah.
And there was, like...
when you said he held up the head, my brain thought that he was gonna make the mouth move or something to the cops. That was like the image in my head was like blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. He puts his head in a little hole.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
His hand. Oh,
That
man.
reminds me of like murderers that make like face masks out of people's face.
Oh yeah. Imagine he did that,
Yeah.
and he's actually a very good ventriloquist. You know.
Oh my god. Space between.